Hey everybody, this is Gesler, and I will be doing a post by Etienne, and it will be a post from the thread of Sinners and Saints, Cats and Mice. I have a terrible French accent, so forgive me, but I will try my hardest. Anyways, here we go. She would have laughed had she found the ability to do so, but she was preoccupied and only just barely managed a quick smile in response to what she viewed as a particularly silly question. There were so many responses to that one question, so many that would have probably drawn the evening to a rather abrupt ending there and then, or spurred it further. She forced out an answer in a somewhat harder, cooler tone than necessary. "I think that I have little fear for losing you, no," she countered, the grin a little hard, wicked perhaps, or just forced on there to a point of looking so. "I think I will lose you tomorrow, chérie, but—" She trailed off. C'est la vie, perhaps, but it was more likely due to the fact that she was fighting down the urge to growl aloud her frustrations at the roving, bucking figure inside of her own head. It was as much a dare as she had ever heard, this taunting of the little beastie inside of her as he kissed her again. And Esti had never really hesitated to tempt fate, or to take what she wanted, consequences be damned. She pressed herself up against him, sliding her hands from his sides around his back, fingers splayed as she eliminated the possibility of space one between the other. She knew exactly what the beast thought of it, and knew that control was weakening, her presence of mind fraying as she fought between repulsion for her acts and that tingling flare of want. It was a mingling of minds as one sought to override the other. Hers was a ragged chuckle as his lips pressed against her neck, but it was far from the confident, bantering answer that she might have spared him back at the bar. Just a noise as frayed as the substance of her mind. She shuddered up against him, hands digging into his back, and the groan that came out of the woman. For a moment they were pressed there, breast to breast, before she sagged a little, allowing for a bit of space between them. It was really quite a shame that the actions all came in response to pain, not the pleasant pressure of a mouth tickling at her skin. A hand slid up his back, tangled in his hand, fingers light against his scalp. And then abruptly they were tightening, yanking at his skull, releasing just as quick as Etienne flung the man's head away from him. He growled out of his anger as a drawn-out hiss, dark purple eyes fixed angrily on the woman opposite him. He spat to one side, mouth curled as if he'd tasted something rotten and couldn't quite get the taste out of it. Etienne was mite bit trimmer than Esti, his face a little sharper in feature. Etienne still looked very much the female, dressed in Esti's female attire and done up in her careful applied makeup, hair piled atop her head. At first glance it might be hard to tell the difference, one between the other, but there was no mistaking the alarming lack of curves this figure presented. "Would you prefer I show you what I think, chérie?" Her voice was a trace lower, more masculine than feminine. "You did ask, non?" His face painted, mouth curved in a mocking little smile that didn't quite touch his eyes. He took a step back towards Raphael. That filthy half-breed had put his hands on his skin, had kissed him. You deserved a bit of fun, Esti rebelled, but for now she was squashed. "I can be quite demonstrative myself." I hope you enjoy that. I think I messed up once, but uh, this was a very difficult thread for me actually, but I did enjoy it. Kudos, Nim. Kudos.